Yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit about, I wouldn't call it a side project, but one project coming out of NFDI for bioimage. Um, Quote unquote, it's a work in progress title, the enriched OMERO. So an OMERO for the community. And we're gonna start a little bit in the origins of this idea. And the origins of this idea were the general vision of having OMERO as a software as a service thingy. So somehow people who would need an OMERO instance for testing for their plugins, for testing for something, okay, I'm trying to do something with the ELNs in OMERO, but I don't have an OMERO right now. Just spin something up real quick on a Kubernetes cluster, interact with it. If you don't need it anymore, it goes down again. And we started pursuing this. Ami Trivedi, who sits in TA2, who's actually, well, I'm going to backpedal for a little second. Uni Münster is part of NFDI for bioimage, primarily as IT infrastructure provider. So stuff that runs in development and stuff that's supposed to be software as a service or something like that. We have people and resources here at Uni Münster, so it's nice to sit close to the IT department here. So in cooperation with IT department, we started this and ran into issues. So storage integration, authentication, OMERO itself not being really quote unquote ready for Kubernetes. It was a lot of rough edges. So in the end, we got it kind of working on Kubernetes. It's running, but it's definitely not with the full implementation of features we envisioned in this software as a service. It spins up, people use it, it goes down again. So the next iteration was, we still want this. We still want people to have an OMERO to test around on or in or with. So the vision changed a bit. So a public OMERO with basically three columns. Easy access for everyone, all of the relevant plugins and scripts that might be needed to test things with, and a lot of diverse example data or sample data to actually test workflows, or how my plugins are working with 5D data or FLIM data, stuff like that. So I'm going to run through the three columns now. Yeah, the easy access for everyone. Accessing as a user, this has been done before. OME, the providers of OMERO, the server and the web application, etc., they have a demo instance. So I basically just copied their approach to it. And we have a public instance of OMERO. Everyone can go there, can self-register with the email address, and has created an account on this OMERO and can use it. The bit more complicated part is accessing stuff as a developer. So, for example, you need access to the virtual machine because you have to do some configurations for your plugin, or you have to install some more packages or set up a Python environment or whatever. That would be possible via SSH, jump host gateway via the Uni Münster thingy. And it took us a while to figure this out, how to set this up smoothly for externals, but it's done. So it's doable, and yeah, I have the guide, but for now it's NFDI for bioimage internal, but I think we're open for cooperations with other interested, yeah, folks. Second column. All of the relevant plugins and scripts there are. So I try to, yeah, put stuff on there that came to my mind. OMERO Figure, of course, text search, open link from Susanne, OMERO Map R from IDR, file server import script from Tom, how to use it in Düsseldorf. Stuff for the newer iterations for OMERO CLI OMERO onto P mappings, that is also another development from Carsten Vogtmann-Grote, also from NFDI for BAM. So the list goes basically on indefinitely. I'll just we come to the buts later on. I tried to put stuff on there as good as I could and test it, but it's not easy. But still cram it full of plugins and useful scripts that people might be needing. And the third column was a lot of diverse example data. So basically what we all know, data from many different file formats, not only data sets and images, but also the whole other column, screen plates, wells, etc. pp. Data with as possible or as rich as possible technical and experimental metadata. Then other things like in-place imported data, so people could see the difference between different importing strategies, different imaging modalities, also real huge slide scans, 5D images, like large 5D images, FLIM as a new file format, or not file format, but FLIM as a new imaging modality, stuff like this. So that was the general idea for the 3 columns. Now we come to the buts. Yeah, easy access for everyone, but yeah, how to prevent abuse as a real OMERO might not be such an issue, because you can just wipe it and just gonna go ahead and give the answers. Basically, that was the easiest one from the approach here, because the OME demo server is the same. It does periodic wipes of data and might be accompanied by extensive monitoring. Okay, so you would have to have, as a sysadmin, you would have to have an idea, okay, what is actually going on? How much are uploading users? What are they uploading? Stuff like this. How to prevent clogging the system with excessively large imports. For example, when I started OMERO, I ran into an issue that you could upload 384 well plates, but with all single TIFFs. And I tried to upload all single TIFFs at once. And then it ran for each single TIFF, it uploaded the whole plate. And then ran through all single TIFFs, like 1600 something. So it uploaded 1600 times the whole plate. And after, I don't know, 40 hours, it stopped. There's like something's going on here. And then you have stuff clogging up the system, filling everything up. And it's, we will have to prevent this somehow. And I'm only doing this somehow. This is having ideas and trying to vision it. The skeleton's there, but I'm still trying to figure out how to actually implement this in a good way. So implement maybe upload quota or alerts on a file system level. And the last point might be the most security relevant, how to abuse, not how to abuse, but how to prevent abuse on a virtual machine level. If people have SSH access there, how to prevent just people crypto mining the hell out of the instance. So keep changelog and do some Linux sysadmin user management magics where I'm not super familiar with. So we would still have to figure out a way how to do this properly. The buts for the second column, all the relevant plugins, yeah, but how to know what to install, when to update, and how to keep track of system configs. Basically, I would propose something like a community-driven wish list. What would make sense on there? What would people like to have there, and why? And then maybe just simple alert scripts on new GitHub releases that might work on should. Yes.
Do you think that the community actually knows what they want?
Yes and no, I think. I think people who are looking for an instance of OMERO where they can test things and they're having issues, for example, getting a certain plugin on their own, or they cannot set it up on their own, they would be able to say, okay, hey, I really want to play around with this and this and this configuration. Can you do this? Yeah, I think that's reasonable to expect. Yeah, how to know when to update? I mean, it takes on a certain gravity at some point if you have a list of 50 plugins and you can't daily check what's going on GitHub if there's a new version. So you would have to rely on people maintaining their stuff properly on GitHub and working with releases, for example, where you can have like alerts. And then also people externals who would access the virtual machine to put up their own plugin in there or change a configuration to try something out. and to keep an extensive and properly documented change log for what they have done and why they have done it. And there also is, yeah, I think the last one might be the easiest one to implement, the diverse example data. How to know what might be needed? Always tricky. But my answer would also be some kind of community-driven wish list. If you want to see stuff on there, either you may have it yourself, you just upload it and say, hey, this is something that might be worth having preserved as a sample data, or you just scour basically bioimage archive or IDR for sample data that you know that might be relevant. Big 5D stuff, light sheet stuff, 3-photon, long time series, cleared samples with I don't know, dozens of channels, like all of the interesting edge cases basically. And thing is how to get all the different data imported. Yeah, I would also strongly rely on community support. The thing is, I set this up now. I started this with kind of a bit of my vision in the background and try to implement this as good as I could with as little time as I had. The skeleton is there, but I need input and help from the outside. Basically, that's what it boils down to. This also leads to upcoming. I'm gonna put this on a proper GitHub repo and or read the docs to have the documentation and the possibility also for public discourse outside of our NFDI for bioimage file share system. As I said, with the plugin wishlist, with access requests, people coming up with issues, etc. What I want to, yeah, implement personally is the improved monitoring. I think I can do this, but if people are very, very well versed in how to handle stuff like this on a Linux sysadmin level, I'm always happy to hear pointers or out of the box solutions. And I want to get in more tested, not only install the plugins, but also test them myself if they work properly, and tools on there, and also more sample data. And very, very small, maybe there's an SSO integration on the horizon. But I'm not the one doing it, but I've heard that people are thinking about how to get this in an open source way somehow financed and funded. Yeah, teaser. But nothing's promised. Okay, that's it. Do you have questions, ideas, comments that are being up? Is this something that you would find interesting or maybe for future applications worth looking at or keeping in mind? It's like, that's good to know there's something out there where I can test my stuff on if I don't have this kind of plugin on my local instance, or I want to see before I install all these plugins on my local instance, I want to see how they actually look on different data in some kind of public test instance.
I think it's very useful to have, we have our own test instance ready for exactly these purposes.
Yeah.
Everybody has to do that. Doing it like this is.
Yeah, I have my own sandbox playground as well, but it's like internal just for me.
Yeah,
But it doesn't help anybody else.
Yeah. But if everybody has to have that, everybody has to have that technical knowledge to be able to do that. That won't be around for everybody. So having that available for a broader community to test these things, they only need to be available on a relatively short basis. You need to test whether a plugin is useful, whether it will work, and then you can shut it down again. So I think it will be tools.
I just realized I never actually put up the URL. It's a blunder. Do this. Yeah, should.
Did I understand that you can, thanks to Kubernetes, launch a specific OMERO with a specific configuration, like an updated plugin? Question mark. Can you have multiple OMERO instances that run at the same time, or is it?
Not
One?
the approach I'm taking now is one Linux virtual machine
Okay.
on a classic OpenStack virtual machine resource management system. I'm not touching Kubernetes. But in theory, if you have the Helm charts with the different versions of different plugins, you could run this on Kubernetes. But as I said, we ran into issues on Kubernetes on multiple fronts. So I decided for this real public thing for everyone, it's just not feasible.
And are there some incompatibilities between plugins,
That's what I want to find out. Up until now, I haven't seen anything, but I have not. Yeah, the list is it's not above 20 plugins yet, so there might be something coming up. I envision some kind of NumPy incompatibilities with versions and something like that. Yeah, could well be.